The most famous beauty expert in our town, Elena, has been forbidding her clients from looking in mirrors for 15 years. People follow this strange rule because the results are amazing. But when they learn the real reason, their lives change forever. Dear viewers, today I'm going to tell you an extraordinary story. Maybe you've encountered something like this before. A place with a rule that seems weird to you, but you get such good results that you don't question it. Elena's story is exactly like that. In the small town of Roseville lived Elena, a 40-year-old woman of stunning beauty. Her salon, Mirror Beauty Salon, was the most famous place in the region. Women would travel for miles and wait in line for days. Because Elena's hands seemed magical. From skincare to hairstyling, from makeup to eyelash extensions, she did everything perfectly. Her clients left the salon feeling completely reborn. But Elena's salon had one rule, a strict, non-negotiable rule. Looking in mirrors inside the salon is strictly forbidden. Any client who violated this rule would be immediately thrown out and never accepted again. People found it strange at first, but the results were so perfect that no one opposed this rule. One day, a young woman named Sarah came from a neighboring town. Sarah wanted to beautify herself 3 days before her wedding. Her friends had recommended Elena to her. At the salon door, Elena greeted Sarah. "Welcome, honey. I'm going to give you an amazing treatment. But first you need to listen to my rules. Looking in mirrors inside the salon is forbidden. If you don't follow this rule, you'll have to leave immediately." Sarah was surprised. "But ma'am, how can I not look in a mirror in a beauty salon? Don't I need to see what I look like?" Elena smiled. "Just trust me. I've been doing this for 15 years. I promise you, you've never looked this beautiful." Sarah hesitated, but remembering her friend's words, she agreed. After a 3-hour session, Sarah stood up. When she stepped outside the salon and saw her reflection in the shop window, she was breathless. She looked like a completely different person. Her skin was glowing, her hair was gorgeous, her makeup was professional. "Is this really me?" she whispered, but not everyone was as compliant as Sarah. A month later, city-dwelling and assertive Rachel came. Rachel was a university graduate, a headstrong woman. "What kind of rule is this? Can't I monitor the service I'm paying for?" she snapped. Elena was calm but determined. "My rules are clear. If you don't like it, you can leave." Rachel really wanted it because she had heard from friends about Elena's miraculous work. She reluctantly agreed, but she was secretly making plans. When Elena took a bathroom break while applying hair dye, Rachel seized the opportunity and pulled out her compact mirror from her purse. Half of her hair was dyed, half was natural. When she looked in the mirror, suddenly she let out a horrifying scream. What she saw in the mirror wasn't herself. An old, wrinkled, ugly woman's face was looking back at her. She seemed to have aged 20 years instantly. Elena came running and saw the mirror in Rachel's hand. Her face went white. You looked in the mirror," she whispered in fear. What is this? Is this me?" Rachel was sobbing uncontrollably. Elena sadly shook her head and escorted Rachel outside. That day, Rachel went home with her real face, aged 20 years. Dear viewers, have you ever encountered such a strange situation? Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss such interesting stories. Behind Elena's strange rule lay a painful secret she had hidden for years. 15 years ago, Elena was a normal beauty expert. She was very beautiful then too, but not as much as now. One day, an elderly woman came to her salon. The woman looked very wealthy, but her appearance was unkempt and ugly. "Can you make me beautiful, my dear?" she asked. Elena did her best, but there wasn't much she could do for the woman. The aged, wrinkled skin didn't benefit much from the treatment. When the elderly woman looked in the mirror, she was disappointed. "That's it? I paid a lot of money." "I'm sorry, I can't do any more," Elena said. The elderly woman suddenly changed. Her eyes turned bright red. "You've disappointed me, young lady. Then you too will experience the same pain." And she started mumbling strange words. Elena thought this was nonsense, but as the woman left, she said, "From now on, every time you look in a mirror, your beauty will fade a little more. But when others see you, that's when your true power will emerge." That night when she got home, Elena looked in the mirror and was horrified. There were fine lines on her face, gray streaks in her hair. She seemed to have aged 5 years. This must be a coincidence from fatigue, she thought. But the next day when she looked in the mirror again, the situation was even worse. She was aging a little more with each look. In fear, she began avoiding mirrors. She removed all the mirrors from her house. Strangely, as she eliminated mirrors from her entire life, her beauty began to increase. A few weeks later, she noticed that people were looking at her differently than usual. Men would turn and stare on the street. Women would eye her with jealousy. One day, one of her clients said, "Elena, you're getting more beautiful every day. What's your secret?" That's when she understood. The mirror was cursed, but this curse had given her a double life. As long as she didn't look in mirrors, the outside world saw her as incredibly beautiful. But every time she looked in a mirror, she saw her truly aging face. Elena turned this situation into an opportunity. When working in her salon, clients saw her as enchantingly beautiful. This gave them confidence. It was as if beauty flowed through her. But at the same time, it was dangerous for clients to look in mirrors. Because in Elena's cursed presence, mirrors began showing the truth. When people looked in mirrors, they saw themselves much worse than they actually were. That's why she had implemented the mirror ban, both to protect herself and her clients. Years passed. Elena's artistry developed even more. Thanks to the beauty aura brought by her curse, her clients truly became beautiful. It was as if her hands were magical. 15 years later, Jessica, who had returned from university to the town, came. Jessica was a very intelligent and inquisitive girl. She had heard of Elena's fame, but found this mirror rule ridiculous. "Ma'am, I wrote my thesis on visualization techniques. It's very important for clients to see themselves in mirrors for confidence. Your rule isn't scientific." Elena was worried this time. Jessica wasn't like the others. "Honey, my rules are like this. If you don't want—" "No, I want to, but I have a condition. Let's do a scientific experiment. Let's start without mirrors first, then I'll look in the mirror. Let's test the difference." Elena was helpless. If she rejected Jessica, the girl would get fixated and start investigating. "Okay, but the responsibility is yours," she said reluctantly. The 2-hour treatment was perfect. Jessica felt wonderful when she stood up. "Now it's time to look in the mirror," she said determinedly. Elena tried to stop her one last time. "Jessica, please. Some things have no explanation." But Jessica didn't listen. She pulled the cover off the large mirror and looked. Nothing happened for the first second. Jessica looked perfect. Elena held her breath. Then suddenly the mirror began to fog up. Jessica's reflection began to change. First she seemed to be aging, then becoming ugly, then Jessica saw a completely different face in the mirror. An old, ugly, evil woman's face. And that face said to her, "Finally, someone will see the truth." Jessica screamed and fainted. Jessica woke up to find herself in the hospital. Elena was sitting beside her, her eyes teary. "What happened to me?" Jessica whispered. Elena took a deep breath. "I'm going to tell you everything, but first know that this wasn't my choice." And Elena told her 15-year secret, the curse, the double life she lived, why she protected her clients from mirrors. Jessica couldn't believe it. "So you actually—" "Yes, I actually look 70 years old. Every time I look in a mirror, I age a little more. But people see me as 25 years old." "Isn't there a solution?" Elena shook her head. "I've been searching for 15 years. I tried to find that old woman, but it's as if she vanished from the earth." Jessica thought for a few days. Then she came to Elena. "I'm going to help you, but I have a condition." "How will you help?" "In my research, I learned how old curses can be broken. But it's dangerous." Elena asked hopefully, "What do I need to do?" "You must continue looking in mirrors. Every day, every hour, until your real age, whatever it is, matches your appearance. But this could kill you, yes, or set you free. Elena thought for nights. Was this life a real life? Constantly hiding, lying, deceiving her clients. Finally, she made her decision. The next morning, she went to her salon and removed all the mirror covers. Then she sat in front of the largest mirror. At the first look, she aged 5 years. At the second look, 10 years. At the third look, but she continued. She looked in the mirror for hours. Her face wrinkled. Her hair turned white. Her hands began to tremble. When evening came, Jessica arrived and found her. Elena was now a 70-year-old woman, but there was peace in her eyes. "How do you feel?" Jessica asked. Elena smiled. For the first time, real. The next day when clients came to Elena's salon, they were shocked. Was this elderly woman really Elena? But strangely, Elena's artistry hadn't diminished at all. In fact, it had increased, because now she was a real beauty expert. Not a deceiver, but genuine. Her clients could now look in mirrors, and they truly saw themselves as beautiful. Because Elena now beautified them with real love. Jessica learned an important lesson that day. True beauty doesn't come from the outside, but from within. And no secret is as heavy as the lies we live. Elena's salon became even more famous, but this time for a different reason. There, people discovered not only their outer beauty, but also their inner beauty. Dear viewers, the message this story gives you is this. First, true beauty can never be based on deception. Sooner or later, it comes to light. Second, the lies we live don't free us. They imprison us. True freedom lies in accepting ourselves as we are. Third, sometimes the greatest courage is taking off our masks and showing our real face. And finally, no beauty is more attractive than sincerity. What lesson do you take from this story? Share in the comments. If you liked this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications for more interesting stories. See you in the next video. Take care of yourselves.